2, 1. Okay. Hold on. It says we are live. Let's check.
I can't speak.
Refresh. Try refreshing. Yep, we are live. We are live. Yep, you can start.
Oh, okay. I can start, right? Okay. Hi
Yeah, I
everyone,
think
I'm
I'll.
Sanana Patti, and on behalf of the OMC team, today we'll be having an interview with the prestigious Indian IMA 2023 team. We warmly welcome all the 16 members, Ananda, Atul, Archit, Arjun, Aditya, and Siddharth. And heartiest congratulations to all of you for your amazing performances at IMO. Also, India placed ninth this year, which is our best ever relative rank, apart from 2001. And total is shared with the highest at 174 with the 1998 team. Also, thank you to everyone for watching this live stream at the OMC's YouTube channel. We have received more than 50 questions from you guys, and we'll try our best to ask as many questions as possible. We hope that you have fun in the interview. So let's meet the contestants. Atul, would you like to go first?
Okay, so hello everyone. I'm Atul, and I participated in the IMO this year. A bit about me: I'm just finished with 12th grade, and I'll be going to MIT for college. In my free time, I like listening to music, reading books, webtoons, manga. It's about it.
That's nice. Archit, would you like to go next?
Sure. I'm Archit. I also participated in the IM this year. I'm currently in 11th grade. Interests, I watch some anime, play some chess. Not very good at it. Just play some chess. That's pretty much it.
That's nice. Ananda, would you like to follow?
Yeah. I'm Anando from Guwahati. I'm in 12th grade, participated in the annual this year. So, in my free time, I like to play chess, read a bit, also music. That's it.
Okay. Siddharth.
Hello, I'm Siddharth from Pune. I'm currently in 12th. And in my free time, I like just to listen to music, watch random YouTube videos, and I like origami.
Okay. Aditya, would you like to go next?
So I'm Aditya in class 10 now. I'm from Pune. In my free time, I like to read storybooks, play games like chess, badminton, basketball.
That's nice. Arjun?
So I'm Arjun Gupta from Delhi. Uh, I was in the three this year, uh, or in four. I don't remember. And
3-3. I was 4.
yeah. Uh, and I like playing chess. And I like used to play chess professionally a few years ago. So I like playing it a lot. Other than that, I like doing Sudokus, as everyone knows. And yeah.
Okay, that's very cool to hear. Thank you all for agreeing to do this interview. It's going to be quite exciting. We have a lots of questions for you guys, so let's begin with this one. In which grade did you all get introduced to Olympiad mathematics? Anyone?
I was
Okay,
introduced to it in grade 7.
I see.
For me, like Olympiads initially, I thought were like SOF, IMO, and NSO with the real Olympiads. But then I think in around ninth grade, my dad actually figured out that this is the real Olympiad. So yeah, since then I've been interested in Olympiad math, although I think I began more seriously in 10th grade.
I learned about Olympiad maths in the beginning of sixth grade.
I started preparing seriously for Olympiads in ninth grade.
For me, 7th grade.
Siddharth, would you like to go next? Net lag.
Okay. I think Sunaina's let is lagging, so I'll ask the next question. Uh, so how was IMOTC and PDC? Like, if you have any fun experiences, feel free to share.
So I think the
Right.
main difference between IMOTC and
Yes. Yeah, next question.
actually Pranav already asked it.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Yeah, so I was saying the main difference between I think IMOTC and PDC was like I think in IMOT in PDC we were like most of the time seriously preparing for like IMO and like we were supposed to seriously prepare for IMO and in the other in other and 2 3 hours we used to play some games cards and stuff but IMOTC was a little opposite like we sometimes we used to like it was IMOTC was more on the fun side like it was IMOTC were more like 50% fun and 50% math, whereas PDC was more like 80% math and 20% fun. So in IMOTC, a lot of times we woke up till late in the night and used to play games and sometimes we had to miss classes also. But missing classes was rare. Mostly we used to attend classes. But yeah, IMOTC was quite fun.
Anyone else? Would you like to share your experience?
I think I also found PDC quite fun. Yes, we did end up doing quite a lot of math. We were initially group solving the IMO shortlist, then USATS, TST. And then we had like a bunch of individual problem sets. But apart from that, I think it was still quite a lot of fun. More mathy fun, but still quite fun. And we also had more people coming. We had Pranjal and Anand who were not there during IMOTC.
Also for
I
oh,
would
sorry.
argue that during PDC, I got introduced to twice as many card games as I did during IMTC, even though there were more of us and it should have been the opposite way around. I would say like both were equally fun for me. Yes.
Also, just for the people who do not know, IMOTC is the national camp which people go to after they clear INMO. About 60 people come at IMOTC every year and it's held at HBCSC. And PDC is for the people who make to IMO team. So 6 people who make to IMO team go to HBCSC again just before IMO to learn some more math. Okay, with that, we can move on to the next question.
Okay, I'll take over again. How was the IMA TST and the arbitration experience?
I think in the arbitration they were like quite strict like if you just say कि इस चीज के एक की जगह 2 mark बनते then like they would not agree they like want some new logic and that also makes sense because they have already given 1 mark by thinking something. Yeah, I think arbitration was quite strict and if they are like stick to one thing they won't change it unless you like give some like new logic or something new that we can this is an alternate solution so I can get more points like this or maybe you say that my solution was correct and there is a like कुछ समझने में गलती हो गई है and other than that they were like quite strict in giving non off rubric marks from a student point of view that feels a little sad but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, but
I
everyone had
understand.
the same harsh rubric, so it's
Yeah,
Like
so that's
sometimes
okay.
your 10s just become 3s and then you are sad about it for quite some time.
some of us have unfortunate experiences with the
Yeah,
rubric.
I think the main
Really, the
idea is
IMO
to not
TSTs were
mistreat-
quite nice, especially because they haven't happened for quite a few years, I think now. So it's nice that it's happening again.
Also, it's important to not mistreat Hamiltonian path as in Hamiltonian side. Just putting it out there.
Also, for the people who do not know, after INMO, we are invited to the IMO training camp. And this year in the IMO training camp, we had like 4 TSTs, out of which the best 6 people were selected. So yes, these are called TSTs or the team selection test. Um, and the TSTs comprises of like 3 questions, and you have 4.5 hours. So you in total have 12 questions, and yeah. Okay, I think we can go to the next question. This is to everyone. Out of all the books and handouts you have read slash done till now, what is your favorite book or handout and why?
I have to go with
Mhm.
the probabilistic method by Ivan. I really liked that handout, and it made me a lot more interested in probabilistic arguments.
I think for me
Okay.
it was Olympiad Combinatrix by Pranav Shriram. Like when I did it, obviously I was not good enough, and I still don't think I am to be able to solve too many of those problems. But although it did give away a lot of those solutions, the getting to see all those clever tricks and arguments in combinatrix probably is what got me more interested in combinatrix. Earlier, I just used to do a lot of geometry and that's it. So yeah, definitely like that book.
For
Mm-hmm.
me, I don't really have any particular favorite book or handout. Like I never analyzed it in that direction or stuff. And I thought of it even right now, but I could not figure out one.
For me to like Olympiad books, I have not actually read a complete Olympiad book ever, so can't really say much about it. And handouts, I don't know what would be my favorite either.
Hmm. Ananda, would you like to add
I would
something?
say like EGMO because it's the only book I've done somewhat completely. And
Hmm.
like I also like Otis handouts, even though they're for like problem sets. And I think they were really useful.
Yes, agreed.
And for me
Uh,
also probably ECMO. Like, that's one of the books I've done read complete.
hmm. Yes, it was a great book. Uh, yes. Also, to everyone again, out of all the 4 areas in Olympiad mathematics, what is your favorite area and why? Atul,
For
would you like to
me, it
start?
is like,
Oh, Arjun.
what were you saying?
Yeah, so like, what's your favorite area in
Oh,
Olympiad
I heard that.
mathematics?
So for me, it's geometry, and the reason is I think I practice geometry the most out of the 4 subjects. And after geometry, I think my like line for like preference could be geometry, number 3, combinatorics, and algebra. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
For me, it would be geometry and combinatorics. I'm not sure which I like more. Uh, in geometry, I like geometry because like you can come up with very elegant solutions to a lot of problems, like some clever constructions and stuff. And combinatorics I like because just very fun, and you have I don't know, like a lot of discrete stuff, and you have a lot of intuition as well. You can also get a lot of intuition on the problems.
Yeah, like Siddharth, I also like geometry and combinatorics, but now I definitely don't like geometry as much. Uh, while what Siddharth said is true, sometimes you have very cool and elegant solutions. It does sometimes, in fact, many times feel like the new things you're introducing are fairly random and unmotivated. And I have now become a strong proponent of length brush. But yeah, combinatorics is great, and I don't think I'd have much to add on to Siddharth.
My favorite would be geometry.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to say
Okay, I
why?
don't have a favorite.
I mean, like similar, like it has clever solutions where you have to find anytime it has clever.
Understand. Yeah. And
Yeah, I was saying that I don't have a favorite, but it's definitely not algebra because I think algebra is random and I don't like manipulations, random things you do there. I'm fine with the other three.
I thought
Also, I'd
geometry
like
was
to
your
add,
favorite.
although I did say I like combinatorics the most, it seems recently I have been successful mostly with algebra only and not particularly great with the rest. Maybe.
In TSTs, I was most successful in algebra, but I'm weakest at it.
Hmm. Okay, we'll move to the next question. Um, what is your favorite theorem slash lemma and why?
Kobayashi's theorem. It's a very fancy theorem, and I like it a lot.
For me, the
Nice.
pizza theorem, it just states like you take a point in a circle and then um, make cuts at 45-degree angles, 8 cuts, or 4 cuts technically. And if you add in the alternate slices area, it turns out to be equal. And I think that's very random and unexpected. And it's honestly very cool that it's even true. So I like it.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's nice. Um,
For me, I think my favorite proof is definitely Erdős's proof that a set of size n has a sum-free subset of size n by 3. That I think is one of the most brilliant proofs I've ever seen.
hmm.
For me, Banach Taski, because you can save world hunger.
Wait, what does that theorem say?
Banach Taski, basically you can divide one apple into 2 apples
How?
by
Okay,
Euclidean
well,
transformations.
It states that
Using
you have the
finite
sphere, you
number
can
of
cut it into
parts.
4 parts, and then with only translations and rotations, I think, you can rearrange it to form 3 spheres plus some extra stuff.
oh, I see. Okay. Arjun, you were going.
So for me, I don't really have any particular favorite theorem or lemma. I never really thought of it in that direction as well.
Oh, I see. Makes sense. What books slash websites did you guys refer to while preparing for Math Olympiads? And yeah, actually, so from audiences, we got like good 10 questions which asks starting from IOQM RMO. So let's start from RMO and then you guys go to, I don't know, IMO level. Is that fine? Okay. So, what books did you guys refer?
I don't know about IOQM as such, but I think for RMO and NMO, excursions in mathematics is pretty good.
Hmm. Yeah. Anyone else?
Are we supposed to tell
Yeah, I
them
would agree with
IMO in one answer, or will you ask all 4 stages one by one?
Okay, so how about we talk about RMO and then we'll go to IMO and then we'll go to IMO. Is that fine?
That might be a little hard, I guess.
Okay, then give a collective answer. What would work?
For Armo and Invo, I also think like excursion is a nice one.
I see. Okay.
and also
Anybody
ECMO.
else? Yes, ECMO.
And
Mm-hmm.
Let's say mathematical circles,
Yes.
Arthur Engel,
That, yes. Problem
those
solving
things.
strategies.
So for me personally, for IUQM, I think there are some one can do some AMTI papers or past PRMO papers, but to be honest, I did not really struggle much at the PRMO level. And for RMO, uh, then there are some books like Mathematical Circles and some Indian author books. I forgot their name, like Indian Mathematical Olympiads by some author. And other than that, I had like my mother taught me all the maths till class 12 very quickly. So like I had a big advantage due to that. And she also taught me all the other subjects like physics, chemistry, math, English, and Hindi, and all that. So because of that, I was able to put a lot more time into math. And for INMO, uh, I think I think for INMO and more there is OTIS. And after a level, once you know all the theorems, you just can solve random problems from AOPS and sites.
I think some of the
Yeah.
others have mentioned a lot of books by Indian authors, so I think I will mention some that are very cool. Uh, there is Mathematical Circles, and I think that's really a great book. Not necessarily Olympiad style problems, but just combinatorics and some related topics. Just very cute, elegant problems that are fun to do and also interesting and useful, I guess. And I think this is probably less known, but Geometry Puzzles by Catriona Shearer. They're just simple geometry statements where sometimes there is no words, it's just a picture and you have to prove something. And I think that sort of geometry is pretty interesting and it's quite fun to do too.
I see. I'll also add one book. It's like a beautiful journey through Olympiad geometry. It's a great book. So, yes. Okay.
Also, someone
Um.
is asking to explain what's Otis, if any of you would like to tell more about it.
Atul?
So Otis is a program that's run by Evan Chen, who was a past Olympiad medalist, I think a gold medalist for Taiwan in 2014. And it's mostly a self-study program where you're given a bunch of units or handouts with problems, and then you can submit them, unlock new ones, and so on.
Yeah, OTIS stands for Olympiad Training for Individual Study, and you can find out more about it on Evan's official site, I think web.evanchin.cc.
Also, Evan is the guy who wrote EGMO. So, yes. Okay. Yes, so to the next question, how do you guys manage school studies, J studies, and Olympiad prep together? I think Arjun talked about it. So let's start with Ananda.
You want to start with me? I did not
Yes.
manage school with Olympiad studying J. So,
Hmm.
and J I'm not doing. I did not manage school and Olympiads. I just didn't do school.
I have to agree with Anand.
Same here.
Even though they're doing J.
Okay, Atul.
I'm not doing J either, and school study I just cram a few days before the exam.
Yeah, I also
Yeah, and
I study for schools like a week before the exams.
Okay, I think although I did not give JE, I was semi-seriously preparing for it. So yeah, it wasn't too much about balancing. It was more of like managing to do math in whatever free time I got. And as for school, I didn't find it particularly tricky just before the exams, as the others said. And I had the board exams too, but like a month or so before it, prepared for it, and did not much else. It turned out fine.
yes. Oh, also, I think you guys forgot to mention your classes. So I think Atul passed grade 12, Ananda passed grade 11, now moved to grade 12. Aditya and Archit passed grade 10 and now they moved to grade 11. Arjun Arjun now moved to grade 12 and Siddharth also went to grade 12. Just if people are curious. Okay. Um, did you guys read any college math textbooks? And do you think they are necessary for Olympiad maths or helpful?
Yeah, I
Necessary.
did.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, I did read a bit of. I mean, I've not read complete books, but a bit of college books. But I don't think they're necessary. I was just reading out of my curiosity.
Hmm.
I don't think they're necessary, but I think maybe some parts of college stuff can help in getting the sort of intuition for some of the arguments you'll have to make. Like, say, for example, in the beginning of real analysis, the sort of argument you'll do is quite similar to many things that you might do for, say, polynomials or even combinatorics in Olympiads. But yeah, certainly not necessary, maybe useful.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else? Ananda?
Yeah, and some things from say linear algebra or abstract algebra might be useful.
Yeah.
There are some problems where you use group theory, but I don't think they'll put that sort of problem in the
Graph theory also
real world.
is very useful. Graph theory books.
Yeah, graph theory is a part of MO.
Huh.
Does that count as quality?
But then again, there's some very complicated theorems like information theory, and then you also have multigraphs and so, which are occasionally useful, but then again, you don't really need.
Yeah, I think graph theory. It's the
There's
things
also
you learn.
flows and all,
Go on.
which can be used, but you don't have to know them to solve problems.
I see. Yes. Okay. So the next question was, did you guys attend, apart from IMRTC, did you guys attend any other summer programs / any mathematical camps?
Yes, I did attend Thomas last year. It was a very fun experience. I got to meet a lot of new people, and I was mostly doing number theory with them. That was our first year course. And yeah.
I also heard that you took advanced courses at least for the first 3 weeks.
I mean, a bit, but I didn't really. After a few weeks, I just skipped the advanced courses.
I also attended this camp called Math Beyond Limits. It's like a 2-week camp that happens in Poland, I think, in September every year. And it was a really fun experience. First of all, getting to go to a new country by myself, but also I made a lot of friends from like various European countries, which I think was very cool. And I even got to meet some of them at the IMO, and I've kept in touch with some of them online. And I think it was a great experience. Unlike Promise, I think we did most subjects, and it was mostly meant to be some sort of exposure to college math and some cool topics.
Nice. Okay, moving on to the next question. Who guided you in Olympiad math? Do you think having a mentor is helpful?
So like I was guided by Prakash sir. So
Me and Aditya were together.
So like when I was in 6th and 7th, he started guiding us, and he was very helpful in guiding to Olympiad method.
Yes, that's nice. Okay. We'll move to the next question. Yes, so you guys said about hobbies. So would anybody like to speak more about chess? Like, I think.
Yeah, I think all of us play chess, but in varying degrees of proficiency. Arjun at some point used to play professionally.
I can rank us, I think. But do I do that or not is the question. I think I'll go with Arjun, Atul, Siddharth, Anandu, Aditya, and then I think that's a decent ordering.
Okay, I think her internet is giving issues. So I'll continue with the next question. And so, what is the importance of mathematical intuition and maturity according to you?
So, what do you mean by maturity? I think
Like,
at the intuition to me is like you know which ideas won't work on a problem, so you don't try them. And you look for ideas in a smaller space. This is that is what intuition means to me.
And also,
yeah, go ahead.
And also, intuition is like also when you have some structure, visualizing the structure. Like if you have you can also get intuition on the structure. There's some combinatorial structure going on. If like everything is some sort of tree or something, that's also very helpful.
And also, I think in general, Olympiad is a lot about getting the intuition, not really about memorizing a bunch of tricks or something, unlike other competitions like, let's say, the math in JE. While there are some insights required, it is mostly just remembering tricks that have come up in the past. But in Olympiads, you actually sometimes have to be quite creative and come up with new things. So I think building an intuition is definitely more important than, let's say, like cramming theory and just memorizing things, as opposed to doing problems and figuring out ideas.
Okay, so you seem to put a lot of like importance for intuitions. Like, do you have any advice on how like how can people develop intuition?
I think through just doing lots of problems, I don't know if any shortcut to that. You just do problems, you see ideas that come up, and then gradually it just like comes more and more naturally to you.
And also, like after doing a problem, just spend some time understanding the solution and everything, so that you can just see the solution at a glance and stuff.
Mhm. Makes sense. Okay. So if you do not have anything else to add, let's move on to the next question. So, in a word, how would you highlight the difference between Olympiad mathematics and school mathematics?
I think I describe it as definitely a lot more fun. School math is really memorizing whatever approach and then regurgitating it in the exam. There's just nothing new. It's just memorizing and just forcing yourself to write down every step, which I guess to some extent is helpful, but it's not the most fun for sure. But Olympiad math is just really fun. And it's just very cool to get to work on the problems. And none of us, I think, are forcing ourselves to do any of this. And we're just doing it because we like it. So I think that's one difference.
Another difference, like it's to more creativity or something.
Creativity. Mhm. Any other opinions on that? Okay, seems not. So the next question is, do you have someone in the math community who inspires you?
All of China.
I guess we could say like inspiration, as in we look up to their mathematical, at least I look up to their mathematical ability, but I don't really have any ideal or anything of the sort. Maybe admire certain qualities in some people.
Uh, Other people? Would you like to share your, I forgot the word. Yeah, inspiration? Okay. So what was the best thing that you liked about IMO? Also, for those of you who went to the last IMO, you can like state your difference if there is any in the experience.
Controversial, but the best thing I liked about this IMO were the problems.
I don't think it's controversial at all. I think, especially compared to last year, these year's problems were, in fact, compared to many years before this, these year's problems, all of them were actually quite good. I didn't dislike any of them.
Mhm. Makes sense.
I think you like a contest depending on how well you do on it and not the actual quality of problem usually. So I would say that both of them have biased opinions.
So, what was the best thing for you?
I think I liked P5 a lot. That's literally the only thing I liked. Nothing else.
See.
And I think you also have to compare this with last year, but at least for me, Arjun and Aditya, I think the vegetarian food in Japan was maybe surprisingly, but a lot better than the vegetarian food we got in Norway. There was actually a clear demarcation on what food items contained what ingredients. Whereas in Norway, it was just like, if you dare, then go eat that. But there was no real way to confirm if something had chicken or beef gelatin.
That's unfortunate.
And the
Okay,
only
you
thing they told you was beef or pork, they didn't. Like they had non-vegetarian stuff in the vegetarian section too. But like here, they
in
had clear
Japan?
everything.
Uh, that was in Japan or in Norway?
Norway, Norway.
Okay, okay.
But here that was well separated.
Okay, that's good. Okay, you already talked about like a bit of your experience in Japan. Do you have anything to add on to that, like your experience?
I will say that Disneyland was not fun at all.
It was fun for me and Ajay.
I think
And
I think Anand is just not having a good experience of Disneyland because of the roller coasters, and he got really scared during.
that is part of the reason, but also the heat, the crowds, everything else.
Fair enough. I mean, I enjoyed Disneyland to a larger extent than he did. So that's all I can say.
Oh, what other attractions did you have apart from Disneyland, if you did?
We also visited this Mathematical Excellence Center in Tokyo and went shopping in Shibuya. And we bought some pretty cool things. So I think that was nice, but the problems were nice.
Okay. uh, okay. I remember in one of the previous answers, so I think Siddharth said that you should not just like glance at a solution. So, would you like to elaborate more on like how to read solutions?
I mean, like you don't really need to read the complete solution. Like usually, I don't, when I see the session, I don't really read the complete solution. I just try to get the main ideas and try to complete the solution myself. And like after like saying you have understood the solution, you don't just move on to the next problem. Like have a clear idea of like what the motivation was for the solution and how you could have come up with it, and also like what's the main idea behind the solution, and to develop the intuition and stuff.
Okay, that sounds like a nice way to read solutions. Okay, so let's move on to the next question. Sunana.
Yes, hi. Sorry for the network issues. To all the 12 appearing, to all the 12th graders, are you planning to study abroad or in India? And why? So that question goes to Siddharth, Arjun, and Ananda. Siddharth, would you
Yeah.
like to go first? Oh, the question was ki, are you planning to stay in India or like apply abroad for your undergraduate studies?
I personally haven't decided yet, but I might go anywhere.
I see. Okay. Ananda,
Yeah, I
Siddharth.
will apply abroad, but again, there's nothing is certain.
Same as Ananda.
I see. Okay. How I think this question has been asked by many of the audiences. So, how do you guys attempt the problem? So, if and also if you're not able to get the problem, do you like immediately give up or like maybe leave the problem aside and think about some other problem? And how many hours should you try before you give up the problem? These are questions. Anyone?
To me, I don't have any fixed time on how long I want to approach a problem. I think it's definitely, if you're doing it in a contest, of course, you should spend maybe like 15 minutes or half an hour trying the problem if you don't think you'll be able to solve it or anything of the sort. But in general, I just stop trying the problem when I'm not able to make any non-trivial progress and the problem doesn't seem very interesting. If the problem is interesting, I'll try it for however long. There have been a couple of times when I've done a problem across many days, for instance.
Oh, wow. Archit, would you like to add something?
I think the only real advice I can give, other than what Atul said, is try small cases. They come useful now and then. It gives you a better idea of how the problem is. I've faced this issue a lot of times. Yeah, just try small cases.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anyone else who would like to add to Achit's point?
Yes, sometimes when I don't get a problem, yeah, okay, what Atul said is like keep trying a problem until you stop enjoying the process. So I do that too, and then give up. But sometimes I might leave a problem for later if I'm not getting.
Oh, also, and I
Like,
wanted to add one more thing. What I said was when I'm just doing problems at home, for instance, like in an actual contest, I would not just leave the problem because it didn't seem interesting. I would definitely want to try the problem. As Nando said, maybe leave it for later and then just, I think I've been given this advice, go wash your face and come back with a fresh perspective and maybe it'll change things.
I see. Okay. What are your opinions on J? Anyone?
I think JEE is an entrance examination for engineering colleges, and Olympiad math is just significantly more fun and enjoyable and is real math. And it is unfortunate that most people know about JEE and aspire to become engineers as a result and don't realize that Olympiad math exists and how cool it is.
Hmm. Moving on to the next question. What's your opinion about EGNO and HPCSE having girls quota? Anyone?
I think it's
Okay.
definitely important because I think if you look at the girls' participation, at least in India, in the IMO or other things in the past couple of years, it has not been that high. So I think it is a good measure to increase the participation of girls.
I see. Anyone else who would like to add to at this point? Archit?
I really don't want to comment on this topic. Atul pretty much said whatever there was to say.
Makes sense. Okay, then we'll move to the next question. How do you
And okay,
react?
I just wanted to mention one more thing related to the
Yes.
previous question. You mentioned the girls' quota and EGMO, but I think an also important thing is, I believe, EGMO PDC now. Apart from just a contest or something, it's actually giving them the opportunity to interact. And especially with only girls, it may be, I don't know, more beneficial and it might be a lot more fun for them. And of course, girls' quota is ensuring more girls come to IMOTC, which is definitely a step in the right direction.
I see. To the people who do not know what EGMO stands for European Girls Mathematical Olympiad, and I think 50-ish countries participate in this Olympiad. India also participates, and here the best four girls from each country is sent. Best female or non-binary students are sent from each country, and for India the selection process is through you have to qualify ENMO, and then there is a separate EGMO training camp where two TSTs happens and through which the best four girls are selected. Yes, so moving on to the next question. How do you react to juniors when they ask you for advice? And slash, do you have any advice which you want to give to the people who are watching this live stream?
I think if a junior actually asks in a relevant way, I definitely want to respond. But if it's just a general question saying like, uh, how to get gold medal, just something of that sort, that's not really a helpful question. If they can say something about themselves, what they've done so far, what level they're on, then it's actually possible to give a relevant response. Otherwise, the response would probably fact, the best response would just be linking some websites. Like I think Rohan's blog has a list of handouts and so on. But if they want specific advice, then they should be specific in their question. But also in Math Olympiads in particular, I think a lot of things are organized by seniors themselves. So I think it's definitely a good thing if juniors are asking seniors for advice. And I think most seniors would definitely be willing to give advice if asked in a reasonable way.
I see. So, Ananda, do you have any advice you want to give to the juniors slash any tips?
No general advice as such. I don't think I've been asked by okay, maybe. So, I don't get like this response.
Okay. So, Siddharth, would you like to say something?
I mean, I don't have any specific advice as such, but I guess just try to enjoy maths as much as you can.
I think I have the next question. I hope my voice is fine.
Oh yeah, you're audible.
Oh, okay, great. This question is to everyone, obviously. In geometry, do you guys make accurate diagrams or prefer freehand diagrams? And yeah.
Yeah, in contest, I do make accurate diagrams and also I'll practice it. Like while I'm practicing, I also sometimes don't draw the diagram and try to visualize the diagram in my head and try it. And that's just for practice. It gives you like better intuition and stuff. And it's good to draw an actual diagram because you can make some observations out of it and maybe you can claim something which holds true and you can make progress from that too.
I'm not very good at geometry, but I think it's good to, like, say for triangle problems, it's good to fix a certain triangle and practice drawing that exact same triangle with exact same angles every single time. And then the more geo you do, the more idea you'll have that, okay, this is where the orthocenter should be. And if it's not there, then you've messed something up. Like, you just know where the points are going to look like, how your diagrams going to look. I think the more you practice, the more accurate your diagrams will get as a result. I don't really
think I've had many instances where drawing an accurate diagram was significantly more helpful than just drawing a freehand one. Usually I just use a freehand diagram, and if I can't solve it and I'm getting sort of desperate, I'll try and draw more accurate diagram. But there are just some problems that you cannot draw a reasonable accurate diagram. For instance, I think even IMO P6 this year would be a great thing because you had three angles summing to 30 degrees and it's very hard to get those small angles accurately.
Makes sense. There's also a lot of questions about GeoGebra, and like they're asking about whether they should use GeoGebra. What do you guys think about that?
I used to use GeoGebra like quite extensively in the past, but then I don't think GeoGebra helps like improve your geometry significantly at all. If anything, it might even harm it because when I stopped doing GeoGebra, it felt like I got significantly worse at Geo because until then I'd been judging geometry problems by whether I could solve them with GGB or not. So I think if someone wants to do Olympiad geometry and they're not in like the final stages of it, using GeoGebra is not that great of an idea, at least until you've tried it on paper for quite a while.
Yeah, I agree with
Makes sense.
Atul. And I also had the same experience as him. Like I used to be addicted to GeoGebra as well. But like after you solve a problem, you can use GeoGebra and try to like just explore what you can get from the problem. And yeah.
Arjun, would you like to add something about this?
Personally, I did not use GeoGebra while practicing myself, so I can't really comment much if it's if it helps to improve geometry or does it improve your geometry skills.
I see. Ananda, I think you used
Uh,
GeoGebra, so would you like to add something?
have I? No, I stopped like, using GeoGebra regularly, and I agree with what Atul and Siddharth said. Uh,
Okay. Okay. Moving on to the next question. So, we are actually done with the interview questions. We'll now move on to the audience questions. So, this question is to Atul, basically. So, will the graduating IMO team members be back at IMO TC for training slash fun?
I think
Mm.
IMOTC would not really be possible because I think the end sems happen around that time. But for something like, say, the pre-departure camp, I think if I'm returning to India, then I would love to be able to come there. I not even talk to the IMO team or not be able to help them.
Makes sense. Also, for the next question, can you guys describe your IMO contest experience, like the problems, and like how did you feel when you solved the first problem at IMO, and what were you thinking during the exam and so on?
Okay, I'll begin because no one else has it. Uh, P1 seems to be generally considered rather easy, but I went down this rabbit hole where I had a different approach in mind. I was trying to force it to work, and well, it did not go particularly well. So I think I spent almost an hour and a half or something on the problem. Problem two seems to have been relatively somewhat trickier, but I think I got sort of lucky on it and managed to get all the claims correctly with freehand. So more advertising for freehand geometry. Problem three, I feel, is the sort of problem that if you've just done lots of problems, then some of the ideas come rather naturally, although there are quite a few ideas needed. So it's definitely not an easy problem. But yeah, I was able to, I think, finish all the problems relatively quickly, I think in 2.5 hours or so. And I spent the remaining time just writing it up so I wouldn't lose points. Day two, I got P4 like in the first couple of minutes, which again seems to be a bit of luck too, because some people have found it significantly more difficult than problem one. P5 also, I think, took around an hour. I got the answer fairly quickly, but then proving the bound was trickier than I imagined. I thought the answer was the tough part. And yeah, problem six, not really much progress until the last half an hour or so when I actually noticed the circumcenter claim. And I managed to write that in time. So that's that.
That's nice. Arjun, would you like to go next and describe your contest experience?
So for me, also I was done with day one in around 2.5 hours. And first I was done with problem one and two, and I also written them well up. And then I was on problem three, and then I was and writing problem three was I would not say it was a bit tricky, but if you include a lot of details, then you have to write a lot. In the sense, it's hard to explain whatever. So I thought I will P3 very properly so that I don't lose any partials. And I don't know what happened. I was over conscious about every detail, and it started taking up a lot of time. Around 1 hour was gone, and I was still I have to write up. Then I was let's not be so much conscious. So overall, the day went well. I was able to write up all three problems. And for day two, I also got a P4 pretty quickly in around 15 minutes or so. This is not including the write-up part. And yeah, P5 was hard, and I think it took quite some time, around at least 1.5 hour or so. And then P3, I was trying, I got some progress. Like I got the radical center idea, those cyclic quadrilaterals and circumcenters. But other than that, like that was half of the problem. The second half of the problem was to construct those points A3, B3, and C3 and stuff, which was extremely hard, and I did not get it. And it turned out that if you want to get more points than two, like 3 or 4, then you have to just find that idea. Like, and that was like quite hard.
I see. Also, Arjun, there was one question which was directed to you only, and so I'll ask you right now only. Since you have posted a lot of questions on AOPSD past 1 year regarding advice and intuition about certain problems, um, do you have anything which helped you at IMO, and like what's the best advice which was given to you during the process?
I don't really remember the best advice I got, but I would say it was helpful asking for like uh, these advices. Like it does not really take much time to ask for advice, and if you get a useful advice, then that's really helpful. Like this does not mean like you keep asking for stupid advices and spam stuff, but still it's helpful. Like there's no harm in asking is the point. And regarding did it help me at IMO and stuff, I think it it helped me a little at not a lot, but I think a little at least to like improve my math skills. And yeah, so like that helps at IMO also. Like if it is helping me to improve math, then it is helping me at IMO.
Makes sense. Siddharth, would you like to go next and describe your contest experience?
So yeah, the first day, like I solved the first one relatively quickly. I think I got the idea in the first 10 minutes, and then the second one also was fairly, I did it very quickly. I was done writing the first two in the first 2 hours, but then the third problem I couldn't really make much progress except the construction. And yeah, I don't think I would have gotten the third problem. Uh, and for day two, uh, like I did the first two problems, I think the first 2.5 hours, and then I had 2 hours left for the sixth problem. But I made a very dumb angle mistake at the start, so I was trying a completely wrong problem and couldn't get anything on that.
Mm-hmm. I see. Ananda, would you like to explain your contest experience?
So day one, I started with P2 and I was like trying problems, switching problems. I got P1 while I was trying P2, and then I was switching between P2 and P3. I think by sometime I had gotten P2 and also some ideas on P3. So then I was only left with P3. But like P2 took me a decent amount of time. I would say 1 hour or even more. So for P3, the thing is like, one thing is like you can get the strictly increasing claim and that solution path is smoother, but I didn't see that claim. So it was a bit more convoluted. And like, I had gotten the general gist of what to do, but that is very hard. The details there are very annoying, and fleshing them out took me some time. And then while I was writing up my solution, I discovered some gaps in what I had thought was. So like I was writing P3 up for about 2.5 hours, and like I was writing up until the very end, like just 5 minutes left. Yeah, so that was day one. Day two, there is not much to say. I got P4 pretty quickly. Then P5, like I had the wrong answer. Actually, it was off by 1 or 2, and the construction was also off. So I got 1 point for that. But like I spent like 4 hours or basically on that problem and not much on P4 and P6. And okay, I ended up getting 1 point. That's it.
Nice. Aditya, would you like to share your contest experience?
This is for P1, like I did a similar approach to what Atul had done, and it again went complicated, but I thought I had mostly completed it. Then I began switching. I tried P2 for some time, began switching between P2 and P3 and got some progress on both. Then on day 2, I got P4 relatively quickly. And after that, I tried P5 for some time and I got the construction in the answer in the construction. And after that, I couldn't get much progress. Like I had many items to date. And in P6, I got the stuff for the circles claim and the radical axis, but I didn't mention the place of the radical axis. So I got it.
Oh, I see. Archit, would you like to share your contest experience?
I mean, yeah. So when I went into day 1, I saw that P2 was a geo, and I was like instantly very sad because I'm not very good at geo. But I ignored that and saw that P1 was a number theory, so I just tried that. I got it fairly quickly, and then I moved on to P2. And I think I only tried P2 for most of the contest because, like, it was like I have so much progress on P2, but it's nowhere close to finishing the problem. And do I switch to P3 or not? I think I should have switched to P3 at some point, but I did not, and I just did stuff on P2. I did not expect some good partials on P2, but I got them in the end, so that was pretty nice. I guess I got the points worth for that time. Day two like was looking promising because P4, P5 were looking reasonable. But then I think I got sidetracked in P4 with a certain idea that was never going to work. Like that was a huge time sink, but I did figure out P4 in the end, and then I went for P5. I think if I had some more time for P5, maybe I would have done it. But like during contest, I could only figure out the easy part. I couldn't solve the hard part. P6 was just 480 degrees geo, so I obviously ignored it. That's pretty much my contest experience.
Yes, so you did the P2 geo though. So yeah, congrats. We'll move on to the next question. Yes, so how do you guys stay motivated and maintain your passion for mathematics even when, faced with challenging problems or setbacks? Anyone?
The
I-
challenging problems are part of what motivates you. If the problems were too easy, you would not stay motivated.
I agree.
I guess regarding this question, we can even discuss this question like for as much time as we want, and like and I think this question might require like a very big answer if we really need to help someone. But to just brief stuff, I mean, I think if you have your motivation in mind, like what are your motives, like IMO and helping the society after learning math, like if you keep these motives in mind, then I think it's easier to handle the difficulties you face in your paths.
Siddharth, would you like to add something?
Like, I mean, I enjoy maths as much as everyone does. So, and challenging problems is part of the process. And yeah, I mean, basically what he said.
I think I'll just speak from the kid who wrote the question's perspective. So I think has there has there been any time like when like you haven't been able to solve any problem you tried for a good amount of time and then did that
I mean, I
demotivate
could
you?
explain my TST experience for that.
Huh, yes. Go
So,
on, you can say.
yeah, so, uh, okay, should I explain all my days or like, wait,
Yeah, you
was there a
can.
question? Was there a question for
I
TSTs?
No, not really. The question was basically, do you feel demotivated when you can't solve any problem?
Yeah,
But your
like,
PhD experience would be helpful. So yes.
yeah, so basically, should I explain all my days?
Yeah, 4 days now, so you can.
Okay, fine. So first day, like TSTs have 4 days, and each day is similar to an IMO day. So first day went pretty well. I did all the problems. The second day didn't go well because I did the first problem because it was trivial because of a typo. The second problem, I went for a length bash, but my bashes never worked, so I couldn't get it in the time. And I should not have tried to bash it on retrospect. And I was sad because I didn't do a P2G on the test. And then moving on to the third day, the first problem was actually a very difficult problem for P1. So, and I was spending most of my time on that, so and I couldn't get it. And I got a perfect 0 on the test. But then I kind of like I got motivated to do better on the last day, and then I solved all the problems on the last day. Yeah.
Yes, so Siddharth had like the best distribution in IMO TSTs. So, okay, we'll move to the next question. So one person wrote that there were some interesting statistics related to gender-based performance. Like Luxembourg didn't have any female candidates in IMO till 2006, but this year they had three females and the whole team was a female team. So what changes can a country do to increase the female participation in IMO? Anyone?
I
Atul,
think you
maybe you
can
can.
encourage it. Like, okay,
Oh,
Zapil
Anand,
answered
go ahead.
this.
I
Yeah,
think
I think
you
you can
can.
encourage like girls to like think beyond EGMO and aim for IMO. Like that is one step. Okay, that's all.
Yes.
I don't know how you should encourage, but I think that like you should not limit yourself to just like for a spot on the EGMO team. Is what I'm saying.
And also the example given, it's just one instance of Luxembourg now having three girls in their team. I don't think that constitutes a trend. But yeah, to the question of what can a country do to improve performance, I don't really know beyond uh, they're reorganizing camps specifically for the girls, increasing participation in IMOTC, and hopefully that will have a positive effect. And yes, what Anando said, like EGMO is not the ultimate aim. IMO or even an IMO perfect score could be.
Yeah. Uh, so this question is to everyone. How was the reaction when you guys realized you all received the medal?
Sad because I couldn't figure out how to like keep Fluffy in one hand while I held up the flag. For context, Fluffy is the Indian mascot, the white tiger.
Yeah, we also have an
Understand.
orange tiger. The orange tiger should also get the recognition. Uh,
I
so
had the orange. Me and Ananda had the two little tigers.
yes, orange tiger, the best. Yeah. So Siddharth, how was your reaction when you realized you got the silver medal?
I mean, good, I guess.
um, Arjun, how was your reaction? Like,
I was personally quite. You're talking regarding the medal thing, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I was personally quite happy at that time, and overall the environment there of the closing ceremony was also quite nice. Like the overall वो जो माहौल था मतलब हाँ
Huh.
and I felt quite happy for doing something for my country was quite a nice feeling.
Hmm. Uh, Aditya, Archit, would you guys like to say something?
I mean,
Okay.
it was great getting a medal. Yeah.
That was
Okay. Okay. There's one more question, and it is the last question which we received in the Google Forms, and then we'll go to the YouTube questions. Okay, so how do you guys attempt a test? As in, how do you decide which questions you would like to attempt first, which questions to skip? What are the ways to avoid panic? Yeah. Oh, this is the
Uh,
second last question. Yeah. Okay,
for
go on.
me personally, I first spent like 20 on a IMO type paper. I first spent like 20 minutes with all three questions in 3 to 1 order. As Okay, I'll try to answer quickly. It's like as Ivanchin, like this is similar to the strategy Ivanchin advocates, and yeah, and after that, after trying each of the three questions for 20 minutes, whichever question I feel, uh, I think is more likely I can solve, then I try to spend 1 hour more with it. And if I'm able to solve it, then great. And if I'm not able to solve it, then I like spend 1 hour with some other question, and eventually I decide like which question is like more likely to solve, and I decide to spend more time with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
Anyone
the
else would?
factor of 1 to 3 also matters a little. That like suppose if I feel 1 and 3 are equally likely to solve, but I know this is P1, so I would of course spend more time with it.
Anyone else who would like to add on to Arjun's point?
I don't follow such an elaborate. So like I start with the the problems in order 1, 2, 3, and like I just use intuition on how much time I should spend on each problem. I don't really calculate any time. I just see the time remaining.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Also, since the last question, also you guys know how nice, how great India team performed this year. So, what was the thing that India team did this year compared to the last few years? Like, what was the factor which you know made India team get the ninth rank overall?
We solve more problems than other countries. But yeah, I think we also usually are quite consistent on 1, 2, 4, 5. But this year, apart from that, we also had quite a few solves on P3 and lots of partials, I think, overall on all of the problems. So it's not just zeros and sevens. I think it's definitely an improvement. Without a lot of the partials, our rank would have definitely been a bit lower.
I think another big factor could be the coordination we had this year. I think a lot of marks got like improved from the due to the arbitration. So yeah, I think that was also quite a big factor. Otherwise, yeah, that was a big factor.
Hmm. Okay, so by this, we are done with the audience questions. Now we'll move on to the YouTube questions. Pranav, would you like to introduce this section?
Yeah, so there were some questions which were asked in the beginning, and those questions we wrote down some of those questions, and Sunana will ask those. And until we end the interview, which will be in roughly 15 minutes, we'll take
Yeah.
some more questions which you can post right now, and we'll shortlist the questions from that. Just one request: do not spam the chat. Like, do not post a question multiple times. If you post it once, we'll see it and we'll consider it. Okay, so we can start with that.
Okay, to everyone, what was your favorite problem in this year's IMO?
For me, P6 was my favorite, but I couldn't. I messed up.
That's fine.
I liked P5.
Yeah, makes sense. Aditya?
Maybe P5.
Hmm, I see.
Yeah, I also
While
like
P6 is a very cool and like unconventional statement, just quite nice. I think I also quite liked P3 because it was a rather natural statement in the sense it's not like very contrived. It's a reasonable question that one would expect to ask. But also, yeah, one could argue that it is standard in some sense, but I think I quite like the way it actually works out in the end.
Hmm. Ananda?
Yeah, my favorite was P5, followed by P3.
Hmm.
Initially, I didn't like P2, but then I saw the variety of solutions there on the bed. So my opinion has improved.
Hmm. I see.
Because if there was like only one approach, it's a boring problem.
Which one? Which approach are you
P2.
talking about?
No, I
Uh,
mean, if there's only one possible solution,
huh.
that's not very
Hmm. I see. Okay. Arjun, what's your
For
focus?
me, there was no particularly favorite question, but if you would ask me which question I was like most proud of like getting progress on, then I would say P6.
Hmm. Nice. Okay. So this is to everyone. What was your reaction to problem one in this year's Ironman? Like, as soon as you saw the problem and did it, what was the
Happy
reaction?
because I thought it would give me more time for P2, which was G.
Hmm.
Yeah, also happy because it doesn't look like a hard problem at all. Like this problem will be solved eventually anyway.
Uh-huh.
not
Okay.
react. I just
Uh,
there was hardly time to react. It's pretty natural.
fair enough.
My reaction was eating a chocolate piece after that.
Yes, yes. Like, yeah, agree. Huh. Okay, we'll go to the next question. So, how do you guys handle the situation when you're not able to do? Okay, we actually talked about this problem, so that's fine. Have you guys ever been through the situation when you thought this certain problem looked hard during an exam, and then after the exam ends, you realize, oh, this problem is actually simple. I should have attempted it. So how do you guys figure out which problems are doable and which problems are not doable during an exam?
I think we sort of discussed this also when you asked what order do we try problems.
Huh. Okay. Have you ever gone through this though? Like,
Yes, IMO P4 last year. It wasn't really a hard problem, but I just did not solve it in test. And my only hope when I came out of test was that maybe this is just some very hard P4 and very few people solved it. But then turns out almost everyone I spoke to did solve it. So that was, I guess, rather demotivating. But yeah, it happens. It's fine.
how do you guys handle with exam anxiety and nervousness?
Could you repeat?
Like, how do you handle the exam anxiety and nervousness?
Like I don't really think about it much. I just,
Hmm.
I guess, listen to music and do whatever.
To
Hmm.
clarify, Siddharth does not listen to music during the actual IM.
Ah, yes, yes.
I
I do.
mean, we don't know technically. Like, we could have done it. We have no way of learning.
I mean, I had my phone in my pocket when I was actually entering the exam, but then I realized I had my phone in my pocket and then I gave it to Pranch. They didn't
But
even check my
Oh,
pocket.
Good.
oh, okay.
I could have just walked in with my phone.
Oh, and also I
Nice.
think this is something I struggled with quite a bit in last year's IMO, as I mentioned problem before. It's just the fact that it was the IMO added like a lot of tension, but I think this year we had a lot more mocks and practice tests. And I was also doing a lot of math before IMO. So I think that definitely helped. And during the IMO, it just felt like another mock, but with nicer problems.
I see. Okay. So this question is to Atul and Arjun. So you guys swept day one, and then at day two, after you guys did P4 and P5, like, how did you guys know that you were passing the goal cutoff? I don't think so. This was a good question, but were you relaxed when trying P6?
I think I was definitely more relaxed than I should have been. After I finished like five problems, I was like, I will get gold. I probably didn't try P6 with as much enthusiasm as I should have. But P6 is also like an extremely hard problem, and I don't think, given more time, I would have been able to do more. It's fine.
Uh, for me, I was like trying to take one problem at a time rather than like viewing it as a whole thing of day one and day two combination. So I was just like trying to put my full energy on the current problem I was trying. So like when I was trying P6, like I at least I tried to being as cool like as at just a new problem and not taking a lot of pressure about getting a perfect score or something. So I was just like let me just put my full energy on trying to get this. And another point that Atul mentioned that uh, yeah, it was I felt that it was like quite likely that I would get a gold from five problems, but I was still like this is not the time of celebrating and messing up P6. This is the time of like focusing full and trying to do as well as I could. So yeah.
Hmm. Makes sense. Also, uh, goal cutters, okay, not that necessary, but like goal cutters might not be just five problems. Like, but here, this year's EGMO,
I don't believe the gold cutoff has ever
yeah,
gone
any,
above 35 in the past 2 decades at least. There have been years when it was 40 and 42, but those were long ago.
I see,
And also,
okay.
we could feel that the problems were not like extremely easy that the cutoff would be so high.
Makes sense. Have you guys ever prepared for any science Olympiads or informatics?
And I
Maybe.
were sometimes for informatics Olympiad.
Yeah, I also
And I
prepared a bit for informatics, but I didn't make it to the TC.
I also have prepared a little bit for informatics.
Yeah, and Archit and Aditya went to the IYTC. Do you guys, yeah, do you guys think IQ is a very potential factor for determining success in Olympiads?
No,
No,
I don't think IQ is a determining factor to do anything beyond like those sort of.
IQ
I
tests.
don't think, yeah, I don't think IQ is a measure of intelligence or anything.
IQ is a measure of how well you do IQ tests.
Yeah.
Great answer. I actually agree. Um, what are you guys' opinion on the IOChem courses on YouTube?
I don't know too much about them, but as far as I've seen a lot of Vedantu videos on like IOQM and other math things, and it's nice that they've taken the initiative to actually do that sort of thing. But I haven't seen too much of it, so I can't really comment.
Hmm. Great. Okay, so there's one person who's asking that I'm in class 11 right now and can solve the RMO level questions. Do you think I will be able to study enough in 1 year to be able to solve IMO level questions?
That's just really
Yes,
subjective, depends on the
like
person.
IMO level problem once, maybe. Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Yeah.
Problems 2s and 3s, maybe not.
Like there have been people who got very good very quickly, and some people who have worked for a long time and it's not worked out so well. So it's definitely a specific thing.
Okay, so this is the last question. And how did you guys choose between JE and Olympiad? And yeah, Atul?
JE is not fun. Olympiad math is fun. So definitely Olympiad math was the more appealing thing to do.
Makes sense.
And yeah, I
So,
applied abroad. So yeah, that was another factor why I decided not to get JE.
mhm. So yes, that's it. I think we are done with the I'm saying problems. We're done with the questions. We do not have any more questions which can be
Yeah.
asked during the interview. So yes, to the people who are watching this, thank you for watching it, and I hope you guys comment how the interview was. Give us some feedback. We'll try our best to improve. Again, sorry for the network issues. And any of the IMA team member who would like to give some final piece of advice to the people who are watching this. Well, okay. Um,
Okay,
yeah,
maybe
that's
one
it.
thing like we're
Yeah.
all normal people. It's not like I don't think any of us were just born and we were like, I will do math. So if any of you are interested in math, you should never think that this reaching IMO or getting a medal there is something impossible. Like, just don't demotivate yourself like that. I've been in that situation and I thought that IMO people were just these incredibly, insanely talented people. And I would never like be at their level. Here I am. So yeah, never think that you can't do something.
Hmm. And with that, we'll end our IMA 2023 interview. I hope you guys liked it. And yes, thank you for watching it. Bye bye. Pranav, you can end the live stream.